Hello friends, welcome to Java Swing tutorial. In this video, we are going to create JTextArea. So the JTextArea is useful to create multiple line of text. So in this component, user can type a line of text, then they can hit enter to start a new line of text. Here we will see how we can provide support for vertical scroll, horizontal scroll. Then we will learn how we can provide support for line wrap and word wrap. We will also learn about the role of JScrollPan when displaying the JTextArea. So you can watch AWT playlist. The playlist number is 04. So some of the swing components use concepts from AWT. If you have some experience on Java UI, then you can directly watch this video. So this example, JTextArea, uses the example which we already created in Swing tutorial 01. That means the very first video in this series. So that's the base video, and code written is the base code. That means we created the frame window there. So all the videos in this series refers that very first video, and code will be added on top of that very first video. So if you know how to create JFrame window, you can continue watching this video. JTextArea is the component name. So we can use this class to create text area. That text area can support multi-line text. So you can construct this using two parameters. The first one represents rows and second parameter represents columns. So the rows defines number of lines. That means if we specify 5, then the text area will be sized to accommodate 5 lines of text or 5 rows of text. Then column defines the char width. So if you specify some 10, then this will support 10 character. So usually we will specify some 60 or 70. Okay, all right. So it depends on the number of character you want to accommodate. So that's how you create a JTextArea. Once the component is created, as usual, you can make a call to add method on the content pane. So the content pane will display the text area. Alright, first we will create our JTextArea and we will add it to the content pane. We will see how it looks, then we will come back and learn further. So this is the content created in very first video of this series. So we have our frame window ready. So this is the appearance of a JFrame window. Next, we create JTextArea. That's our code snippet 2. and you can see the JTextArea component is from javax.swing. So in the constructor, we specify number of rows and number of columns. That means our text area will support 11 rows and 30 character width. So next we add our JTextArea to the control host, which is nothing but the content pan retrieved from our JFrame by making call to get content pan. So now we can run this and check what are the limitation when we display the text area directly in the content pan. So you can see this is our text area. So I hit the enter and you can see the cursor move to next line, and I'm hitting enter. Now I will copy this content. I'm pressing Ctrl C. Then I'm hitting enter, Ctrl V. And if you see, when I start typing the text area is expanding. So this is one issue. And if I further type, it goes beyond the frame window. And to scroll to the text, I have to press the down arrow key, and the cursor moves beyond this limit. And if you resize it, you will see, but user starts typing the text, it will still grow. So that means we need a vertical scroll bar, right? So now let me type. And if you see, it is expanding widthwise also. So when you directly add a text area, this is what happens. Now we will close this and we will improve this text area. So in the demo, you saw how this, even though we specified the rows and columns, so the text area is initially displayed to accommodate the number of rows and columns. But when number of column exceeds, the text area started growing widthwise, and when number of rows increased, then it started expanding the height wise also. So this is not what we want. Right now we will see how to provide support to text area, that means JTextArea. So what we have to do, we have to use the JScrollPan. Let's say JTextArea was already constructed with a fixed number of width and height. Let's say 12 rows, 30 columns. Next, what we have to do, we can hand over this JTextArea to JScrollPan. So JScrollPan is a separate instance. So the duty of the JScrollPan is to provide scrolling support using the horizontal as well as vertical scroll bars. So this will be the content that needs to be scrolled. So what we have to do, we have to construct the JScroll, and to the constructor we can pass our JTextArea, so which we already created. Then as part of second and third parameter, we can provide the requirement for scrolling. So the second parameter will provide requirement for vertical scroll, and second one will provide the requirement for horizontal scroll. So using this parameter, we can see how we want to handle the vertical and horizontal scrolling. So once you create JTextArea and hand over that to the JScrollPan, the JScrollPan will take care of scrolling the text content. So as you already guessed, so this is what we will hand over to the content pan. So in the previous demo, you saw that to the content pan, we directly added the JTextArea. Now we handed the JTextArea to JScrollPan, and we are adding this JScrollPan to the get content pan. We hand over that to the content pan using the add method. So you will call add method on the content pan, then you will hand over the scroll pan. The scroll pan is already taking care of the text area. Now let's go to the demo and see how the content pan is resolving the text area. It is growing, right, when the number of column or rows exceeds. So now we will stop that using the JScrollPan. So now we will remove this. So here what we are doing, we are creating a JScrollPan and we are handing over our text area to the scroll pan. So first we will import JScrollPan from javax.swing. Then as you see, the very first parameter is taking the JTextArea. That means this JScrollPan is going to scroll the text area. Then in the second parameter, we specified that we need the vertical scroll bar always. And in the third parameter, we specified we need a horizontal scroll bar also always. That means when the text area is displayed, even though it is empty, you can see the vertical and horizontal scroll bar. Then in the control host, we added the JScrollPan. So here we created the JScrollPan and we are storing that in a reference JScpan, and we are handing over that JScpan to our control host, which is nothing but the content pan of our frame window. Now let's execute and test how our text area is appearing. So now it has both the horizontal as well as vertical scroll bar. So now let me copy this content and we will paste it, and you can see that so the horizontal and vertical scroll bars are always visible, right? And once the line of text exceeds, so this is at present the text area supports 11 rows. So when it exceeds this limit, that means when we are entering the 12th row, you can see the vertical scroll bar get activated. We'll do that now. And if you see 3, 3, 9, so our cursor is at 10th position, and this will be the 11th position, and you can see what is meant by this 11 here. Now when I paste, so we copied 3 line of text, right? So it exceeds 11, that means there will be 12 number of rows, and you can see the scroll bar get enabled. You see. can scroll it. Let me copy 2 more times, and you can see how that scroll bar grows. Alright, this is for vertical limit. Now let's go for a horizontal one. Alright, so now you got an idea of what is the use of vertical and horizontal scroll bar. In some situation, it will not be good for the user to do scrolling vertically as well as horizontally. Let's say to mimic this. Now let's say a user is reading a document. He's reading first line, second line. When he's coming to the third line, he need to scroll horizontally and read that. Then he should scroll back. Then he or she will read the fourth line, fifth, sixth, and seventh line. Once again, the person should scroll and read, then scroll back to the original position and read. So it will be irritating, annoying, right? So that's why what people usually prefers, they won't display the horizontal scroll bar, they will display only the vertical scroll bar, so that they no need to scroll horizontally. They can read the content quickly just by scrolling the horizontal, I mean the vertical scroll bar. So now what we can do, we can change this horizontal scroll bar constant to horizontal scroll bar never. That means we don't want to display horizontal scroll bar at all. We want to display only the vertical scroll bar. Now if I run the example, so if you see, we told that we don't want horizontal line, I mean the horizontal scroll bar, but users still need to move their cursor to read the content. So this is even more worse than the previous condition, right? So if it is a horizontal scroll bar, at least they can scroll. Now they have to place the cursor and use the left or right arrow key to read the content. Alright, now we will fix this. So we provided a scroll bar using the JScrollPan, and we also saw how to deal with horizontal and vertical scrolling of the content. Then we try to remove the horizontal scrolling option, but when we removed the horizontal scrolling, the situation got even more worse, because user need to place the cursor, then use left or right arrow key to read the content. So we can fix that issue just by setting the two important property. One is the line wrap. So now we don't have a horizontal scroll bar, we have only vertical scroll bar. And you can see here, previously we saw that the texts are moving beyond this limit, right? I mean previously means in the demo. In the last demo we saw that 1 2 3, so this one is weight 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7 moved like this, but we want to display that in the next line when it exceeds. So what we can do, we can, so if this is our JTextArea, we can use the function setLineWrap. So we can set the boolean true or false. So the default will be false, and if you set it to true, then we can resolve the issue of weights exceeding the width of the JTextArea. So user will type their weight 1 2 3 4, and when they type the fifth weight, and if there is no room to accommodate fifth weight in the current line, a line wrap happens. So this is what called line wrap. The line is automatically wrapped to next line. Now let's consider one more situation here. Here if you see, the line wrap is actually appearing. So this is weight 1, weight 2, and weight, if you see, half weight is here in the first line and the second half of the weight is in the second line. So this is breaking, right? The weight is broken here into two lines. So if you see here 1 2, when user starts typing the third line, so here let's say the user is started typing the third line and character by character, and so the weight is not yet finished, and when user types the third character, and if there is no room to accommodate that weight in the very first line, what happens, the text area will place the weight in a new line. So this is what called weight wrap. So here if you see, this is the third line without weight wrap. Here with weight wrap you can see that the weight is wrapped to next line. So you can use the set wrap style weight, that's the function name, and you can say it boolean true or false to say you need weight wrap or not. So that's all the two important property. One is set line wrap and another one is set weight wrap style weight. Now let's go to the demo. Okay, before adding the scroll pan to the control host, we will add some more text. Here we are changing the font to 16 so that we can experiment line wrap easily. Alright, so now to our JTextArea we set the line wrap to true. Now we will test it and see how the line is automatically wrapping to the next line when it is exceeding the width of 30. So now watch carefully here. So what I want to type is, here we are checking the line wrap functionality. Now if I hit spacebar, line wrap appears. Why? Because there is no space to accommodate the next character. JTextArea Component. C. I'm typing O. M. There is no space. All right. Now you are seeing how the line wrap is appearing properly. All right, but there is still a problem here. If you see, when we read this sentence here, we are checking the line wrap behavior of the JTextArea component is one weight, but if you see, the part of the weight is appearing in one line and part of the other weight is appearing in second line. Now we will avoid this. For now, I'm copying this to the clipboard so that we can test that in the next test run. All right, now we will set the, we already set line wrap. Now we will set the weight wrap also. So the function is set wrap style weight true. So that's the function name. Don't ask me why the function name is like this. Set wrap style weight. So we are setting it to true. So this will enable the weight wrap. Now we will execute our sample, and so we already copied the text to clipboard, right? I'm just typing it. Here we are checking the line wrap behavior of the JTextArea, and if you see how the weight wrap is appearing, previously CO is in this line and MPO is started at the next line, but now if I hit the M keystroke, since there is no room to accommodate COM in this line, the weight wrap appears. So the component goes to next line, COM PONENT. So this is what called weight wrap. So now you can see line wrap and weight wrap is appearing. Also now you can see it will be easy for your reader to read the content. Why? Because they no need to scroll the content, document content horizontally. They can simply do the vertical scroll and start reading it. That's all here in this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.